Okay, we will call to order the June 8th, 2017 meeting of the Sacramento Transportation Authority. Would the clerk please call the roll? Establish quorum.
Good afternoon. Directors Campion, Carr, Fox, Frost, here. Guerra, here. Anson, Harris, here. Howell, Hume, McGarvey, here. Natoli, here. Peters, here. Chenier, here. Cerna, here. Soon, here. Kennedy, here. And you have a quorum.
Thank you very much.
This meeting of the Sacramento Transportation Authority is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T Uverse cable systems. The meeting is closed caption and webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting will replay Sunday, June 11th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should fill out a speaker identification form located at the back of chambers and give it to the clerk. Please speak into the microphone when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Please silence all electronic devices at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 1, comments from the public relating to matters not on the agenda. I have no cards. Do you have anything?
But Mr. Minima.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Just want to take a quick moment to introduce myself. My name is Derek Minima. I'm the newly appointed Executive Director of the Capital Southeast Connector Joint Powers Authority. Looking forward to working on this project and moving it forward. I've been a project manager in the private sector the last several years working on the project, and very excited to be taking the lead and advancing it, working with you individually and the STA staff to collaborate and partner on our funding stream. I look forward to working with you individually and over the next several weeks or months, getting to know you a little bit better, and very just excited and wanted to introduce myself as your new point of contact for the JPA.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations and welcome.
Thanks.
Item number 2 is your Executive Director's report.
Members of the board, I have just a few remarks to make on the Executive Director's report. First, I'm happy to announce that the Government Finance Officers Association, or GFOA, has awarded the STA their Certificate of Excellence Award for our comprehensive annual financial report prepared by our accounting and finance manager, Tim Jones. This is the highest form of recognition in government accounting and financial reporting, so we're very proud of this accomplishment. This week also marked Tim's first year with the STA this last week, and we're very happy to have him. Regarding Measure A, our focus this summer will be on analyzing Measure A funding capacity and collaborating with our member entities in updating the capital funding and financing plans. In terms of future meetings, the next meeting of the Independent Taxpayer Oversight Committee is June 29th. The meeting is open to the public and everyone is welcome to attend. The STA Governing Board, however, will not meet next month, in the month of July. The next scheduled meeting is August 11th. At that time, we will bring our lease agreement for office space at the SHRA building and present the Measure A 5-year allocation and expenditure plans for your review and approval. So unless you have any other questions, that concludes my remarks on the Executive Director's report.
Just for clarification, when's the next meeting?
August 11th, Thursday.
Okay. The notes here say August 10th, your printed report. So
Well, it's that Thursday. We'll get that figured out.
Okay.
So it is the 11th.
It is 11th, and it is on the Thursday, the second Thursday.
It is actually August 10th.
Okay, well, let's clear that up. And
Okay, it's August 10th. My apologies.
yeah, it's in August. Okay.
The second Thursday in August.
Are there any other questions?
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Jones. Thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you very much.
Your next items are items 3 through 5, your consent matters.
Is there anyone on the board that would like to discuss, question, or poll a member of the an item on the consent calendar? No one from the public? Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved and second. All those in favor for approval? Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Item number 6, extension of direct purchase agreement for 2014A series bonds and standby bond purchase agreement for 2009 C series bonds.
Today, we're asking the board for authorization to extend 2 existing agreements that we currently have. One is a standby bond purchase agreement for our Series 2009C bonds for 6 months, and then to also extend our 2014A bonds for 3 years. General Counsel has recommended that your approval be in the form of resolutions, which I've put on the dais in front of you. There should be 2 of those. And so I've asked our financial advisors, PFM, to be here today to explain these transactions and answer your questions. Here now is Peter Schellenberger, Managing Director at PFM.
Good afternoon. I'm Peter Schellenberger from PFM, Public Financial Management. I'm going to go through a brief presentation. Really, the purpose of the presentation, I'll give you a quick overview of your outstanding debt portfolio, and then there's a couple items of business. And the items of a business will largely result in maintaining what you have in place, it's working well, and extending that, in one case for 6 months for one agreement, and another probably for 3 years. So no radical changes that I'm going to put in front of you, and a request to consider extending what's already in place. Page 2 is an overview of your outstanding portfolio. The authority currently has $368 million of outstanding bonds. That's the par amount. Those bonds were issued between 2009 and 2012 for the purpose of raising bond proceeds to advance projects under the existing measure. The series of those bonds are listed. There's a 2009 C series, 2012, there's a 2014A and a 2015A. The 2014A and the 2015A series actually refunded bonds that were issued in 2009. Those were refunded largely for the purpose to free up dollars that were sitting in a debt service reserve fund. So in each case, about $8 or $9 million were socked away and put into a debt service reserve fund in 2009. As the market evolved, you as a strong, highly rated credit no longer needed to preserve those dollars in a reserve fund for the benefit of investors. So in 14 and 15, we refunded those bonds simply for the purpose of freeing up the dollars in the reserve fund to flow to projects. So that's why you're looking at 14 and 15 bonds here. Otherwise, you'd just be looking at 2009 bonds and 2012 bonds. Those are the years you issued bonds to deliver projects. There's $318.3 million of bonds in a variable rate mode. And those variable rate bonds are connected with an interest rate swap. And together they provide an interest rate of about 3.7%. And I'm staying very high level here. It may make sense for me to come back and dive into deeper detail, and if you have questions today, I'll get into that, but intentionally staying fairly high level today. $318 million of variable rate bonds. Those bonds are combined with an interest rate swap, and the combined rate, when you put the two together, is about 3.7%. The 2012 bonds are fixed rate. There's 2 items of business for you to contemplate today, and it has to do with the variable rate bonds. The first is with respect to the 2009 C bonds. Those are what we call variable rate. They're just straight up variable rate bonds, variable rate demand bonds, VRDBs for short. Variable rate bonds are sold to investors. They are reoffered to investors every week. And together, as you reoffer those bonds to investors every week, you need a bank, a commercial bank, to stand. In case the investors choose not to purchase those bonds, you go to the commercial bank, they provide liquidity, they'll purchase the bonds if for some reason the market is not interested in purchasing the authority's bonds that given week. So, long story short, you have variable rate bonds, they're reoffered weekly. In case there's a failed remarketing, you need a commercial bank to purchase those so they don't come back to the authority. We call that liquidity. Commercial banks offer up liquidity, and the technical name of that liquidity is a standby bond purchase agreement. It's this bank that stands by, and under this agreement, they agree to purchase it in case there's a failed remarketing. you guys, the authority is a very highly rated entity. You're AA+, AA+ from Fitch, from Standard & Poor's. You have a AA3 from Moody's. Very high rated. Investors love to own your bonds. They love to own them even if you don't pay them too much in terms of a return on yield, so you've never had a failed remarketing. All the same, you need liquidity just in case. So that's the first order of business. There is an existing liquidity facility with U.S. Bank. You extended that in February for 6 months. 6 months is coming up in August 2017. The recommendation before you is to extend that liquidity agreement or standby bond purchase agreement with U.S. Bank for another 6 months into 2018. So from August 2017 to February 2018. The exact same rate, which is a very aggressive rate at 34 basis points, 0.34%, and the exact same terms and conditions. You could go longer, but the purpose of this somewhat short 6-month extension is to give the authority to take a broader look at your program, understand the funding needs, understand your funding and the capital capacity, and then within that context decide if you want to extend this in February 2018 for 2 years or 3 years. Okay. So this is an interim move. I think you will hear staff, myself most likely, come back with a longer term proposal for you towards the end of the year to be executed in February next year. But today, the request and thought is simply extend this for 6 months when it expires in August 2017. So I will pause there. That's the first order of business, and see if there's any questions.
Any questions of the board? Director Swing.
Thank you. And Peter, thank you for that presentation. I would love to dive into the deeper detail for a better understanding, but I know not today. So I'll just simply ask, we extended already, I heard you say, this bond, right, for 6 months?
Yes, sir. You extended the liquidity facility for 6 months.
And the ask is to extend the liquidity again for another 6 months.
Right.
To as I read in here, to examine where'd it go? Anyway, to look at the market and determine future needs. But in the future, in February 2018, you're talking about maybe reissuing at that time for a 2 or 3 year period?
Correct. Just to tell you what we'll come back with, and it'll be a decision of this for the board to consider. The 2009 C bonds are the last remaining series of bonds that still has a debt service reserve fund associated with it. It has monies that you borrowed for in 2009, you put into a reserve fund that sit there for the benefit investors. From a market perspective, it's no longer needed. You could free those dollars up and you'll still be a AA+ rated. And so there's the possibility to come back in 6 months and refund these, do a technical refunding of the 2009 C bonds, simply to release about $8 million for projects that is currently in the reserve fund. So that's why we want to stay short on the extension to let you think that through.
Right. So I guess my question is, and leading up to all that, but is, we already extended for 6 months, so why would we not just look at doing it now versus waiting another 6 months? And there's uncertainty in the market. Who knows what rates look at that time? What would the risk be of doing that versus just doing the reissuance now?
It's a good question. I'll speak somewhat for staff, and staff can weigh in. There is the option today, or upon expiration, to simply refund these now and release the dollars in the reserve fund. There is an argument to be made, and I think it's a good argument to think, okay, if you have $8 million, what projects would it go to? How would you prioritize what dollars those go to? Is there additional capacity within the program that you may also want to fund together with that release? Mm-hmm. And so I think that broader discussion, that broader context will inform how you use the dollars in the reserve fund, and that's the argument for waiting for 6 months.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Director Frost.
I have a couple questions. The first one relates to the standby. We're paying 0.34 for an annual fee. So if for some reason the bonds didn't sell and we had to take advantage, is there a transaction fee, or does does the bank buy that at whatever the market rate is, plus a little higher, or how does that work?
Good question. If there's a failed remarketing, if investors don't want to purchase the variable rate bonds and they go to the bank steps up and purchases those bonds. They do so under a predetermined rate. And that rate is in the neighborhood of 7%. And so your first take is, that's high. That's a high rate, 7%. And the answer is yes, that is very high. So the way these deals are structured is the bank will preserve liquidity and they'll charge you fairly low for that liquidity. And they really aren't in the business of holding your bonds. They will do so, but in order to compel you to take the next step and work this out with them, they will charge you a higher rate. And so that's how these deals are structured. If they step in and purchase the bonds, they'll hold them for some period of time, and they'll hold them at a fairly high rate compared to what market is. So we would never anticipate really using the SBPA for any long period of time.
So it's incumbent upon us to continue looking for buyers for that same money so that we can basically sell it out of the
Yes.
7% rate.
You hire and you pay an underwriter as a remarketing agent that reaches out and informs investors every week to remarket your bonds. And there's a very robust market. It's mainly money market funds that like to hold high quality paper for short periods of time. And there's a great deal of that, particularly in California. So there is a strong market to hold variable rate bonds. You hire a remarketing agent to go out and remarket those every week. So the authority isn't directly responsible for reaching out to investors. You're paying a remarketing agent that 6 basis points, 0.06% to do that on an annual basis.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong, our net rate with the variable rate and the swap is 3.6%?
It's about 3.7. There's a couple different rates on the swap. So the swap rate itself is 3.7.
Okay, and, go ahead.
And
I'm
then
sorry.
add to that the cost of liquidity of about 35 basis points. So that gets you up to 3.7, 35, 4.05%. And then you add the fee of the remarketing agent to it, and it gets you to a cost of about 4.1% all in.
And if we were to say we're working on purchasing into a new bond,
Yeah.
or moving it, would the market rate for fixed, how would that compare to that net rate that we're paying on a variable plus swap? What would be better?
Sure. Today's fixed rates are good. They're low. You could probably borrow in the 3.5% range today for new money, for new bonds if you came to market. So that's the relative sort of 4.1% on the structure that you have in place, and current market, which is exceedingly low. It's about 3.6% today.
And my understanding, Tim, is that we're already in the variable, but we would, if we had to restructure a bond, we would probably look at fixed, right? Or is that necessarily true?
Yeah, that's.
If you were to go out and issue bonds for new projects,
I mean, I'm thinking about inflation kicking in over the next few years and how that positions us with variable versus fixed.
right. The way this structure has been put in place, the authority entered into a swap in 2005. In 2005, the interest rate swap. It matched that interest rate swap with the variable rate bonds. You end up with an all-in rate of about 4.1% today. There is no call option on the variable rate on this structure. And so one can cancel this structure, but you have to pay counterparties to get out of that structure. And so this structure was put in place to stay in it for the long term. So it's not economical to cancel it just to pick up 30 or 40 basis points in the fixed rate market. There's a significant cost to terminate, given that there's no call structure. So as you move forward, you sort of consider keeping this in place, and any additional issuance you issue as fixed rate. And you slowly blend down that 4.1% cost of capital, and if you were to go out and issue fixed rate bonds for projects today, you would probably do it in that 3.5%. And I think the way you want to think about your program is we've advanced so far $368 million of projects, and your all-in cost of borrowing is probably below 4% for doing that. So it's been cost effective. It continues to be cost effective. If you've moved forward today, you would consider fixed rate just from a rate perspective, and it would also help blend down your total cost of capital as you think about your total portfolio.
Thank you.
Yes, sure. Good questions. There's a second order of business on the next page, page 4. So the first is to extend for 6 months the U.S. Bank facility, come back, consider refunding to release the reserve fund in 6 months. Until then, it's status quo. And the next is on page 4. There's the 2014 A bonds. Those bonds were originally 2009 bonds. They were refunded in 2014 for the sole purpose of releasing the reserve fund, so those dollars flow to projects. They were done to others. These are not variable rate demand bonds. These are not publicly sold to investors. This is directly sold to a bank and institution, Wells Fargo. So you don't take on any remarketing need. You don't pay the remarketing agent the 6 basis points. You just enter into an agreement with Wells Fargo. They hold it. They hold it at a predetermined rate. It's a variable rate index and plus the constant fee. And it's the constant fee which we negotiate. And the constant fee on this is 35 basis points for 3 years. We recommend continuing with the same terms and conditions and the same price. That's a very competitive price. To lock in an agreement where they will hold this, no questions asked, for the next 3 years. And in doing so, rather than paying a commercial bank 35 basis points for liquidity plus 6 basis points remarketing, a total about 41, they'll hold it quietly for 35 basis points for the next 3 years. And that was put in place in 14. It was a 3-year agreement. It expires in September 2017. They are eager to extend with you. And the recommendation is to keep them in place. They've been a good partner. The agreement works well, and there's no legal fees, there's no financial fees to simply extend with them. So that's the recommendation, to extend with Wells Fargo for another 3 years through 2020. That's a second order of business for you to consider.
Okay, any questions of the board? Nope. I have no cards from the public. Is there anything else, staff?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Item number 7 is fiscal year 2017-18 STA and SAVSA final budget.
Back in April, at the April meeting, we introduced the budget figures for your review, and we left the public hearing open. Today, we continue the public hearing on the fiscal year 17-18 budget with the budget in its final form. You'll notice it doesn't look anything like any budget the STA has ever produced before. The STA's accounting and finance manager will review the budget highlights with you in his presentation. Here now is Tim Jones.
Good afternoon, members of the board and the public. I'm pleased to present our fiscal year 17-18 final budget. And I've given you a document that I'll be referring to during our PowerPoint presentation. It's a hard copy of our budget for this year. And I'll be referring to that as we move through these slides. Please feel free to ask questions as I work through the budget, or if you'd rather, we can wait until the end. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Okay, I will move to the first slide. On the first slide here, we have, it summarizes the timing and the development process for our budget cycle. It's a process that lasts about 5 to 6 months, and today's meeting marks the second of 2 presentations. The first was in April when we presented the proposed 17-18 budget, and then today we have made some minor revisions, and we are presenting the final budget. And this just summarizes the budget process. On our next slide, I'd like to discuss some of the budget highlights, and I've broken it down into 2 slides. One slide contains the revenue highlights, and the other slide contains the expenditure highlights. In this slide, in the revenue slide, and this is on page 18 in your hard copy document, excuse me for just a second. So this slide highlights the revenue portion of the budget, and the last column of the table that is in your hard copy document summarizes the variance between the fiscal year 17-18 final budget and the fiscal year 16-17 approved budget. That's the column clear over on the right. The first bullet point in the slide shows that sales tax revenue is projected to increase $7 million in the coming year when compared to the fiscal year 16-17 approved budget of $114 million. So our revenue projections for the coming year are $121 million. I will note that there are two components to the increase, the first of which is that the actual projections for fiscal year 16-17 are expected to be $116.5 million, or $2.5 million more than the approved 16-17 budget, and that is based on the forecast developed by staff and the authority's consultant. The second component of the budget increase, or the revenue increase, is that although that it's projected to increase to $121 million in the coming year, and when compared to the projected 16-17 amount of $116.5 million, we experience $4.5 million in additional growth, in total $7 million. I will note that this is one item that is different in the final budget than in our proposed budget. I originally had developed an internal forecast for 17-18. I had about $119 million, and then subsequent to that, our contractor developed a forecast. We worked with them, and the new forecast is 121. So that's one of the few notable exceptions between the proposed and final budget. I will note that the increase in revenue sales tax is driven by the improved local economy, factors such as declining unemployment, which decreased 1% from 5.6% in June of 16 to 4.6% in April of 17 is one of the primary drivers, and that information is provided by the Employment Development Department. Leading indicators of the revenue sales tax increase are improvements in the transportation, health services, and governmental sectors. And the second bullet point, I'd like to talk about the mitigation fees. The coming year's projected fee revenue is expected to increase to $6 million from fiscal year 16-17 approved budget. This represents a $1 million or 20% growth, and nearly all of that growth can be attributed to the building boom in downtown Sacramento. Remittances from Sacramento have been very high over 16-17, and we expect that to continue into 17-18. The last bullet shows improved interest revenue income generated by the authority's fund balances. This can primarily be attributed to increased interest rates. So it's not material to the authority as a whole, but it's significant to that particular account. It's a 150% increase. Any questions so far?
Mr. Chair, I punched up. Thanks. Tim, just going back to the sales tax projections, what was the 16-17, 5% increase year over 14-15?
The increase over 14-15?
Yeah, to 15-16, now 16-17.
So you're asking what the increase between 16-17 and...
What have we been building off of? Because 6.1.14 seems a little bit optimistic from a sales tax standpoint, and I don't know whether we hit the mark this year or the year before. If it fell below, I just want to know about the 6% and how that compares with where you hit the mark, because you're doing 6% for the 17-18 year?
Yeah, so we were in 14-15 to 15-16, we were in the 4+% range. 15-16 to 16-17, based on the approved budget, was around 4%, but we came in higher than that. So our approved budget to our projections, the 15-16 to approved projections for this year are in the mid-5 range, around 5.5, which is kind of what the authority built their program around.
So how do you get to 6, over 6?
Well, it's what I am
We're
reporting.
projecting, because you build a budget off of that, and I just want to be, again, that percentage can be, I don't know, a lot of money.
Yeah, so like I said, there were two components to this growth, and a good chunk of it is the difference between what was approved and what's actually happening in 16-17, when the difference between those two amounts is $2.5 million, and that accounts for a portion of the 6.14%, and then the balance is the difference between what we project and in 16-17 and the difference between that and 17-18.
So your revenue is a carryover amount that exceeds projections for the calendar year, or because you work on a fiscal year? I guess now you're losing me. So how is it that you get, this makes up for a 6% increase when you have to accrue those revenues, right? I mean, you don't get to count them in the next year.
No, we all of this information is based on is accrual basis information.
Okay, so boil it down simply. You think 6% is, I mean, that's what we're building the budget. You're asking us to prove that. I guess I'm not totally confident that we're going to hit. We haven't hit 6% in any of the last 4 years. We may have gotten closer this past year. And even when we're coming out of the recession, you were at 4, a little bit better than that, and now you're saying 6. And so if I do year over year, how many more millions of dollars? Is this another $1.5 million over what we actually, again, the actuals that you're showing thus far?
Yeah, so it's going to be $2.5 million over what we show so far. And the 6.1% this is a budgetary document. This is representing what budgetary numbers between approved prior year and this final budget this year, and I think that the 6.14%, it does not represent our revenue growth from 16-17 actual amounts to 17-18 projections. That's a reduced.
Okay, so what is your 17-18? So maybe I was misreading this. So this is. So 17-18, you're predicting what for your sales tax?
$121 million.
Percentage over year, 6%. Is it 6%?
No, it's closer to 4%.
Okay.
So the 4.5 million would represent the growth in sales tax revenue for the coming year in relation to the projections for this year, and that 4.5 million would be divided into the 114 million.
Okay. Again, you've kind of lost me with the numbers now, so I'm going to take this offline, but maybe we can have a conversation. I mean, I'm trusting your numbers. I'm just trying to, when I see that percentage and recognizing that any number of us sit on lots of different bodies, and a 6% growth in sales tax year over year is a pretty, is pretty robust.
Okay.
If I could just add something. So last year when we prepared the budget, we made an assumption of about 4.1% growth for that last year. Actual sales tax receipts are actually higher than that. So the 6.14% that you're seeing is the increment from last year to this year, plus the amount that was over from last year, over what we expected. So
he said that, and I swear I kind of started losing because he said 2.75 million, what it all included and so forth. So, okay. All right, thanks. I kind of get it.
Actually, I want to piggyback off of Director Natoli's comment. So what I think I heard you say, Norm, is you were under projecting because you actually received more revenue from sales tax than you thought, and so you're making up for that assumption in this year's budget. That's why you're going from 4.5% to 6%, and then 17-18 you're going back down to 4.5. So you're kind of your net. You're actually consistent. If you had done, let's say, 5.5 or 6% in 15-16 and 16-17, you probably would have been consistent, and then you're going to drop down to 4% in 17-18. And when you say you're making up,
Actually, it's actually backwards. So we're not actually making. Yeah,
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not making.
I quit.
Yeah, so the 6.14% is actually a number that we got after we came up with the numbers. So it turns out the increase that we projected, the final number that we projected is actually 6.14% after we do the calculation, but we didn't plug 6.14% into the formula to come up with $121 million.
Because when we did our, for the 121 million, we built the 121 on the projections for 16-17, which was the 116.5 million. So that's the growth.
The $121 million is actually the number that our consultant gave to us.
Yeah, but you didn't account for the additional revenue. So if you could go back in, let me say it another way. If you go back in time and you're looking at the 15-16, knowing what you know now, would you have put 5.5% or 4% in there, or would you have put something higher?
We put 4 in there, and we were low. We would have put a higher number.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So you would have, right? You would have put 5% or something like that.
That is correct.
So that's why you're getting this bump. So.
That is correct.
Yeah.
We had originally projected $114 million, and we're actually coming in closer to about $117 million for this current fiscal year.
Right.
And then we're building off of that into the next fiscal year.
Yeah, you were projecting low the previous couple of years. You're adjusting for that low, I call it low ball projection. That's why looks a little higher, but really it was.
Yes. And that's on an accrual basis, and we don't have final numbers until September because of the delay in collecting the revenues. I apologize if that was confusing. I'm an accountant, and I need to recognize that I need to reformat some of that information.
No, that's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Just understanding your assumptions. Yeah.
All right. Are we okay then with revenue for now? Okay. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next slide. This would be an expenditure slide. This slide highlights this is on page 18. It'd be on the bottom half of that table in the hard copy. This slide highlights the expenditures proposed in the budget. As the first bullet point indicates, ongoing Measure A allocations trend with the revenue stream, and in this case, sales tax revenue is up 6.14, and again, this is based on the conversation we just had, and the allocations are up 6.12%. In a later slide, we will show you how much each entity is projected to receive in the coming year. In the second bullet point, we capture the change in capital expenditures, a decrease of $5.9 million or 6.12%. And I will note that it's coincidental that the capital project expenditures changed by 6.12%, as this amount does not parallel the change in sales tax revenue. It's just a coincidence. The decrease can be explained by some projects nearing completion or a phase of the project winding down, and the one that's most notable at this time is the intermodal station. In the third bullet point, we note that the authority started making principal payments in its bond program, and in addition to interest payments, and that is the growth in the expenditures for debt service. And then the last bullet point, we note that administration expenditures are projected to decrease by $31,000, in part because of the decreased lease payments as a result of our planned move into SHRA's building in September of 2017. Any questions about expenditures? Okay. Our next slide, and this again is on page 18. This just summarizes our consolidated budget. It's information. It basically picks up the information that is presented to you on table 8, page 18 at the bottom numbers of the table. And this summarizes the expenditures in our two major funds as we report them in our CAFR. It's our general fund, and then we have a special revenue fund, and that fund captures all the financial information for the Sacramento abandoned vehicle abatement program. Our projected expenditures are expected to increase about 2.2% overall to $143.5 million from $140.3 million. Any questions about that? Okay, I've created a pie chart here. This can be found on page 6 of your hard copy document. I think that this pie chart is a helpful way to see the relationship between the various funding sources. Of course, sales tax provides the majority of our revenue at over 84%, but you'll also see how the use of fund balance measures up to the other funding sources, and that's 8%. And we'll be discussing fund balance in further detail in a later slide. The mitigation fees are referred to in this table as the SCTMFP, represent another source of fee revenue, and again, fund balance will be discussed later. And I just thought this was helpful to see how those relationships work in a pie chart in terms of our revenue sources. On the next slide, we have similar information on the expenditure side. This is on page 7 of your hard copy document. The majority of our expenditures represent funding passed through to local entities based on the formula in the ordinance, referred to as ongoing programs. Debt service and capital project costs make up about 30% of the budget, and other expenditures such as SAVSA, Freeway Service Patrol, and administration collectively represent about 3% of our budget.
What are those percentages that are missing? Do you have those?
Pardon me?
In your slide, there's percentages missing. No percentage. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't know.
If there was one, I could do the math.
16.58.
It's in here.
16.58.
The capital project should be 20.75%.
All right.
It says 16.58 in my document.
Yeah, I've got 66.61 on the ongoing allocations.
Thank you.
Yep. And then 16.58 on your capital
And
project.
16.58 on the capital. I apologize for that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next slide. In this slide, I'd like to start by explaining each column in the table. The first column represents the actual amounts from our June 30, 2016 audited financial statements. The next column represents the amounts from our 16-17 budget as it was approved in June of 2016. The third column represents the amounts we projected for the current fiscal year using actual data through April 2017 and projections for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Excuse me a second. Was it in the book here? You have a page on this?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or is that just part of your PowerPoint?
Page 18 in the, it
My
came with the
apologies.
staff report.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, page 19.
Yeah, both. 18 and 19.
So the fourth column represents our budget for the coming fiscal year, and then followed by the variance between the final and approved budgets in the last column. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? I just wanted to give you a little walkthrough. Okay, here I'd like to have a little discussion about fund balance, as it's a part of our budget and for planning purposes. This table represents the authority's fund balances, and you can see an extract from table on page 15. If you go to page 15, it would be in the center portion of the table with the columns or rows at the bottom, say, referring to beginning fund balance and total revenue and fund balance. So I'd like to explain those two balances, the beginning and the total revenue and fund balance. Pardon me. The beginning fund balance includes all cash assets, while the available fund balance does not include the amounts reported in 2009 and 2012 series bonds, roughly $12.8 million in the coming year. Reserve balances in these two accounts are required under bond covenants, making them unavailable to fund authority expenditures at this time. I'd like to note that in fiscal year 15-16, the amount in excess of $4.3 million reported for the 2012 series bonds was used to pay for capital program expenditures. So that's the second row under description and the first column. What I'm referring to is there was money in the 2012 series bonds that was still available for expenditure for capital projects. but you can see that we subsequently spent it down to about $4.3 million, and you'll see that in the columns to the right, and that equates to our required reserve. You will notice a downward trend in the fund balance, which is to be expected. The reason for that is when expenditures exceed revenue, fund balance is used to fill the gap. Historically, the authority issued bonds as needed to fund its capital program, which increases fund balance. Then over time, that money is used to pay for expenditures. However, in the coming year, the authority plans on using, in part, fund balance from the mitigation fee program and from its capital improvement program to pay for capital projects. In doing so, the authority can delay issuing bonds and defer interest costs while using idle funds. And again, that's in the context of working with our financial consultant to determine entity needs and agency cash flows, which is a project that we are currently undergoing, and we'll have more information regarding cash needs and such in meetings to come. Any questions about fund balance? Okay.
Director Frost.
I'm a little bit unclear on the required reserves. Is that all that's all the requirement? A couple $100,000?
No, this is millions of dollars. This is so if you look in the fiscal year 17-18, there's $8.3 million under the 2009 series bonds.
Can we go back to that other slide where we were looking at it?
Sorry.
Okay. I was looking at the difference,
variance.
but that's just on those bond series.
Yes, just
So
on those two. Mm-hmm.
Each bond series has a different requirement. Just depends on what's required with that series.
That is correct. And in fact, earlier Peter had referenced the 2014 A
and they're
15 A bonds, and part of the motivation to refund them was to free up similar reserves in those accounts, and that's an option that we'll have with these potentially in the future if the board chooses to.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. This table, excuse me. This table can be found on page 20 of your budget document. And I thought that this information might be helpful since the allocations are significant to the authority and are required under the ordinance. Now I'd like to walk you through the table and explain how it is that we go about our monthly allocations. You'll notice I've used our 17-18 final budget revenue at the top, $121 million. And then under the ordinance, we're required to, before we do the remaining allocations, we're required to withhold 0.04% for Ileton, 1% for Galt, and then there is a $30 million that is identified for the neighborhood shuttle program, and the authority had chosen to withhold $1 million per year for that program, and so those monies are reduced from the gross allocation to come up with what is referred to in the table as net proceeds. And the net proceeds amount $118.8 million is what drives the remainder of the allocations. So for example, the capital expenditures or the debt service fund, if you will, is required to hold 20.75% of the monthly allocations. And the math is the $118.8 million times the 20.75%, and there you have that $24 million allocation. So that's what we do on a monthly basis. As we receive BOE revenue, we go through this exercise here and distribute the money according to the ordinance. I just thought it might be helpful and educational for you to see how we go about that. Any questions? Okay, there are, let me back up. There are 3 items in this table where I have a double asterisk, and those 3 items undergo a further allocation. And the further allocation can be seen on This next slide and page 21 of your hard copy document. The total in this table is the sum of the 3 double asterisked allocations that we discussed in the previous slide, and the formula that drives this allocation is updated annually based on road lane miles and population figures within each jurisdiction. So around the beginning of the budget cycle, I think beginning in July, we will have refreshed our allocation figures by these percentages, and we will use those for the coming year, and it's based on information that's reported by each jurisdiction. Again, just more educational, informational for you folks. Any questions? Okay, this table, which can be found on page 22 of your hard copy document. This table summarizes the capital expenditures at the entity level for 3 fiscal years. The entities identified here are those that are currently under contract with the authority. We have 3-year contracts with each of these jurisdictions, and the contracts expire June 30 of 2018. The entities not currently under contract but who are in the 30-year expenditure plan are the cities of Folsom, Galt, and Elk Grove. Overall, planned capital expenditures will decrease by a projected $5.9 million for the reasons previously stated. But authority staff will continue to work with each entity throughout the year to identify any material changes in the planned expenditures to determine the cause so that appropriate actions can be taken. So the information that I have in this table is information that I received from each jurisdiction based on what they've put in their related budgets. So this information is up to date. I received this within the last couple of weeks, and that's what we're using as our planning tool for the coming year. Okay, Sac Metro Freeway Service Patrol. You can see their budget on page 22. This slide summarizes budgetary information for the FSP. FSP revenue is materially consistent each year, and you can see that up in the top portion of the table. However, because of an increase in call box and 511 revenues identified in this table as safe money, new revenue is expected to exceed expenditures for the first time in 3 years. As such, the program will not need to draw down fund balance to meet expenditures. The overall variance between 16-17 approved budget and the 17-18 final budget is only $40,000. Any questions about FSP? Okay. This is the Sacramento Abandoned Vehicle Service Authority Abatement Program, referred to as SAVSA. Again, this table can be found
24.
24. Thank you. This is a stable program that annually generates materially consistent revenue, and since program funding is passed through to the participating entities, expenditures closely match or closely parallel revenue. The overall variance between the 16-17 approved budget and the 16-17 final budget, or 17-18 final budget, is only $75,000. So these programs are pretty consistent. They're immaterial to the authority as a whole in terms of dollars, so I didn't put a lot of detail in here, but I did want to present you with the balanced budget as we had proposed already in April. Okay, next up is our administration budget. This table, page 24. This table summarizes the authority's administration budget. The revenue for the administration budget is generated by a 0.75% allocation of the net sales tax proceeds. As the table indicates, the administration revenues exceed expenditures, and that is when you exclude the fund balance in the current and coming fiscal years, and this can be seen by looking at the fund balance in the expenditure section of the table. So just a little comment about that. If expenditures exceed new revenue, and let's look at the fiscal year 15-16 actual column, If expenditures exceed the new revenue, then fund balance is where you go to make up the difference. And so in this particular table, when you look at the 16-17 fiscal year and the 17-18 fiscal years, you'll notice that we have fund balances that show up in the bottom of the table under expenditures, and that's to balance out the budget. But what that means is that we have excess revenue that exceeds our expenditures. So in this case, in 16-17 and 17-18, you can see the amounts that where the authority has underspent its planned administration budget by $126,000 and $66,000 respectively. So it's been a really positive change in terms of our spending. Any questions about admin?
Just comment. So, Norm, when you opened the presentation, you said this is going to be unlike any budget we've ever seen before. Is that part of the revelation?
That's part of it, yeah.
That's good. Okay, good news. Okay, thanks.
Okay, our debt service fund. This table summarizes the debt service transfers from the general fund and related expenditures. And you can find this information on page 17 of the budget document. The authority currently holds about $368 million in outstanding debt, and the bond proceeds that were spent early in the program to advance projects were done so that those people that are benefit from the transportation improvements are paying for them, and the costs above service the bond-related debt. So this is just kind of informational. It shows you that the transfers in, which is near the bottom, represents the amount of money that the general fund transfers to these funds in order to fund the expenditures related to our debt service. So this fund is healthy and is operating just as expected. And so with that, I don't have any further slides or presentation material, but I'm open to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions from the board? Microphone on. Questions from the board? Yes, Director Swin.
Thank you. I just wanted to, it's not a big dollar amount at this time, but I just wanted to inquire about your philosophy on unfunded, excuse me, I just lost my place here. CalPERS unfunded liability.
Okay.
Paying that down, if there's a strategy to keep that low or so it doesn't get.
So you picked that up out of our CAFR? Out of our financial statements?
I picked it up out of previous.
Yeah, so so that unfunded liability isn't exactly what it looks like. It is unfunded, but we pay for it every year. And so what we're currently experiencing, and all CalPERS entities are experiencing, is the projections that CalPERS assumed for its retirement program. Those projections didn't materialize in some cases as they had expected, and or other assumptions like the rate of retirement and other pension-related costs were higher than they had expected, and the return on their investments lower than expected. And so everybody in the state has a cut or a portion of that unfunded liability that they're responsible for. And in our case, it amounts to, I think it was $50,000 for 15-16, and that's something that we pay on an annual basis. And in fact, we've already paid our 16-17 amount in full, and we paid it in July of 16. So there's, although it is called an unfunded liability, we pay for it on a pay-as-you-go basis. So we are whole with CalPERS.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome.
All right, any other questions? We also remind, Director Frost.
I just want to congratulate you for doing such a good job, and also thank you for helping me better understand the budget.
You're welcome. And I might add, I know it's buried in the document, and I didn't put it on the slide, but my intent is to submit the authority's budget to Government Finance Officers Association Budget Award Program. What Norm referred to earlier was related to our CAFR, but I'm trying to get into their budget award program, and the reason for it and the reason for all the reformatting that you see is an exercise to do so, and I think it'll be good for the authority and for the public to see more prudent information regarding the authority's finances, and so we hope to receive that award for this year.
Well, I can say that this is a huge step forward as far as transparency goes, and so appreciate that. And also remind the board that we are going to have the ad hoc budget committee is meeting Monday, and the purpose of that is to go over if there's any fine-tuned other questions on this, but also to provide feedback and get feedback for going forward.
All right.
All right. I don't have any cards from the public. If there's any member of the public, then we'll close the public hearing. And is there any action from the board?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the final budget for fiscal year 2017-18. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you.
Your last item is item number 8, comments of authority members.
Are there any comments from authority members? None? We're adjourned.
Sweet.